Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm very pleased to welcome Hugo Barbalata, expert in the CATIA design solutions. Hugo will present an overview of the new features and functions of Deltagen R2019x. I noticed that there are enhancements with NVIDIA Denoiser and real-time Lightmaps, and some about very nice materials, and on VR renderings too. It sounds exciting. Well, thank you to those who have already sent us their questions. Hugo will respond after his presentation, as usual. And we will also post all questions and answers with the webinar recording in the CATIA user community. This is where you can find answers, ask new questions, and we will answer you. And you can also write to katia.contact@3ds.com if you prefer an email response. I give the floor to Hugo now and wish you a very illustrated webinar.
Thank you, Han. Hello everyone, I'm really pleased to welcome you for this CATIA TV about the what's new on Deltagen R2019x. Let me talk to you about the agenda of this CATIA TV. So first, I will present you what is new on the Variance Manager. We have some enhancements. Also, we have a new tool named a standalone variance switcher, which will allow you to control Deltagen and also some game engine you can use, like Unreal, Unity, or Maya. Then I will explain you what we have enhanced on the data preparation side, on polygon reduction features, and also on the new assignment table, which is now more complete. And also how to do complete and complex data prep automation. Then I will talk about the new artificial intelligence denoiser from NVIDIA, which is now integrated inside Stellar Global Illumination. And also we can now compute Lightmap back shadow inside Stellar. Then I will explain you what we have enhanced on the material side, on the look library, and also in the material type. Then we will talk about some design and engineering use case you can achieve with this new release. Like we have a new physical light unit support, and also to do some immersive review thanks to the HTC Vive plugin. And also at the end I will explain you what we have new from transferring data from iSEMS to Deltagen thanks to the direct interface. So let's start with the Variance Manager. Inside the Variance Manager, we have made some enhancements. You know that we have now more and more complex and complete configuration of your product. You can simulate and visualize inside Deltagen. So if you get some configuration from your engineering department or also from the marketing, thanks to the Variance Manager, you can create those variants. It became more and more complex. You have to face such Excel sheets with all this configuration. Some condition, it could be configuration of products, of geometries, of materials. So you see with the Variance Manager, if you have well-defined your variants, you can start to filter them. You can define some favorites, for example. Here we have a new code state set. It's a kind of condition set, which means you will define some variants, and the condition will allow you to show a variant close to another one. So this is how it looks like. You define your code state set, and on the right field, you will assign the variant configuration. Then, when it's well set, you can simply toggle between on and off, just to display your variants. As well, you can create new ones. You can add a description, and you can copy-paste from the Excel sheet directly in the right field. You can simply copy-paste, and the Variance Manager will automatically recover the same naming and assign the variant to your state set. And then you can play and see if it's well assigned. You can of course create some collection to filter, or to control, or to search them more easily. You can really define some complex configuration thanks to this new code state set. And as you see, you can, as always, define a preview. So create quick icons, and these icons, it will give you a more visual interactivity with your variant switcher, and the standalone variant switcher I will show you after. So again, you can check all your preview is made of the icon. If a variant is not well connected, well assigned, it will be shown with this icon. It will allow you to search and reassign the correct one to your variant manager. At the end, your product is ready, configured with animation, variants, geometry, materials, condition, and it's ready to be reviewed or rendered. This is the enhancement on the variant manager. So now with the R2019x of Deltagen, we introduce a new tool, the standalone variant switcher. So these tools can be open and run in the meantime of Deltagen, like you do with Delta Batch. It will give you the full control over Deltagen and other solutions you may use, like Unity, Unreal, or Maya. Of course, it remains the same as the variant manager and the variant switcher. It's to control your scene. So as you have well defined your variant inside Deltagen, you can open the standalone variant switcher and simply open and read a .xf file. And what the standalone variant switcher will do, it will expose the configuration and the variant you've made in Deltagen. It's now shown inside the standalone variant switcher. You see we have the dialog here to make the connection with the tool you want to use. So for instance here we want to control Deltagen. Your variant is exposed. The green icon was shown. It means the connection is well made. As well here, it's shown for Maya. We have the connection and you can control your scene. You don't have to re-prepare this variant inside other tools. So, talking about the standalone variant switcher, let's talk about the game engine getaways. As I've explained, everything is well configured inside Deltagen, saved in your .xf file. Now, you will only have to open the standalone variant switcher, open your .xf file, make the connection with your game engine tool, and play with your variants. Again, everything is exposed in the standalone variant switcher. Just make the connection. The dial icon will switch to green. Connection is made. Perfect. Now you can start to play with your variants. All you've set one by one. Switch. You have your configuration. You can review. You can render. Or check simply if everything is well set. So of course it's not only connecting to Deltagen. We can connect to other tools as I was explaining. Let's see how it's working. Let's make a connection with Unreal, for example. So here, you load your .xf file inside Unreal and also inside as a standalone variant switcher. You make the connection and you can start to play your configuration. No data prep effort, no variants to define inside Unreal. So it's less time consuming. You will be more efficient. Of course, you can make it with Unity. Again, do the connection and play your variants. It really makes things more easy. So if you have defined a new model every day, you have less and less preparation to do before. And the same as well for Maya. Make the connection and play with your configuration. So thanks to our new tool, the standalone variant switcher and this gateway, you can now control all the solution in the meantime. So, you have seen the enhancement on the product configuration side. So now let's talk about the data preparation. So the first improvement we made is on the Polygon reducer. So you know more and more you are using some game engine, some VR solutions, and performance is really mandatory. If you have a complex model, you will need to enhance it. Why not decreasing its polygon count? So thanks to the Polygon reducer, this is something you can achieve easily. In the polygon reduction, you can now see original and reduce polygon counts. And in real time, you can apply this surface check to see if the settings you made will not decrease the quality of your surface. And in real time, you can check this. You have the preview mode, change the settings if you're not happy. And if the new one fits to your expectation in terms of quality of the surface, you just have to apply reduce. And then it will be automatically made and saved inside your scene. It's really easy. So of course, we have a lot of new enhancements for data preparation, and especially on the assignment table. You see now we have 5 different tables: metadata, materials, tessellation, and wrapping, and polygon reduction I've just showed you before. So let's see how it's working. More and more in your CAD data, you will bring some information, some attributes. This metadata can be reused inside Deltagen, and especially with a new assignment table. This is the result you get when you convert your data. No tessellation made, no surface quality, no UV mapping, and no material apply. So in that case, you can define some table with a new assignment table and its enhancements. You can define metadata table, for example. The principle, it's simple. You just have to search for object name or look name or metadata name, and assignment table will search inside your scene tree, your geometries, and inside the metadata, or the naming of the geometries, and will make the connection. So here we are creating tessellation table, and what we want here is to match every metadata name high, and we want to apply a tessellation presets. On the right field, you see you can use the presets defined inside Deltagen. But if you have a preferred preset you made here, just configure it, save it, and you can, in the drop-down menu, recover these presets, and you will be able to apply it to a selected geometries of your scene. Again, you can do the same for your UV mapping, based on the query and the search. So just type assignment table research for the data inside your scene tree, and on the right, you apply your presets. Here, you can also copy from one table to another one to make things faster, to create faster new table. And for the material assignment table, you just have to drag and drop from your look library. And the assignment table will assign a material to the geometry you've searched thanks to the query. Again, for the polygon reducer, same search and query system, and just apply your presets. The one from Deltagen or the one you have created and saved. You can also copy and paste easily and really fast your metadata table and change the presets. If you want to define a preparation for review or preparation for immersive review or for some renderings. And at the end, when everything is set, you can save this assignment table in an AST file, and this file you can share or you can reuse inside Delta Batch. So in Delta Batch, you will automate the way you prepare your data. You just have to search for this AST file, and you can filter by naming. So if you only want to apply here, for instance, the table name print, you just have to filter and then to start the conversion. And at the end, your model will be prepared with tessellation, polygon reduction, UV mapping, and the material apply from what you've defined in the print table. So talking about data automations, we have, of course, every release a new way to automate and accelerate the way you will create automatically your models. So how it's working. If you have a Deltagen specialist, this person will be responsible to create the look library, the material inside this look library, so the appearance of material. Also, he will take care of the appearance and the creation of the textures assigned to these materials. And then he will define your assignment table. Everything created, you can store it inside your database. And how it's working next. It's simple. You have your PLM database. Just extract the data you want to convert inside Delta Batch. So in Delta Batch, you will have your CAD data, your defined look library, and the assignment table you've defined, as I show you in the video before. So what's happening next? Delta Batch will convert all your files and will save them in your dedicated network. Inside this network, you just have to insert the textures file assigned to your material you've applied inside Delta Batch. And the result is simple. All your end user in your company will only have to go in your PLM database, define the product he wants to review. He will extract an XPDM XML file from your database, which contains all the information, the data needed to be reviewed. This file you just open inside Deltagen, and thanks to the linked file and the texture path, Deltagen will automatically build your model, 100% model configuration. So you don't need anymore to have skills inside Deltagen to review for your end user. One person will take care of all this process and all the content creation. Of course, we have some big announcements on the side of the rendering and of the quality. The first one is Denoiser from NVIDIA. It's an artificial intelligence which you can use in the global illumination mode of the Stellar renderer. So let me show you how it's working. You know that if you want to have the best quality from Deltagen in your model, you have to use the global illumination modes. But it costs time to compute and to refine your images. So most of the time you have noise and you need some time to refine your images. So here, in that case, the Denoiser is also working with Deltagen, but with distributed Stellar. How it's working, it's simple. In the render settings, we have the denoising here shown. Just have to set denoising at which sample per frame you want it to be applied. So for instance here 16, and just press apply. So what will happen is when you will launch global illumination and you will move inside your scene, you see the noise appearing, and at the frame 16 the denoiser happened. So you have an image refined and crisp. So in 16 frame you can start to review and state on your product and on its appearance. Of course, on the top you see we have the toggle mode, which means anytime when you compute in global illumination you can apply denoising or you can remove it to see how it looks like. So here we have noise. We stop, it's refreshing, and at the frame 16 denoiser appears. So of course you will accelerate your visualization process. You will save time and money. Toggle anytime to see before and after. The new capabilities, of course, we have in this R2019x version is to be able to compute a Lightmap back shadows in Stellar. Let's have a look. You know that with Stellar we were able to compute ambient occlusion shadows, but now with the Lightmap we can take into account all the light source around your product, from where and which intensity is emitted to your product, and now it will be taken into account in the back shadow computation. So this is how it looks like with the dynamic shadow, global shadow. how it looks like with global illumination modes. Stunning images. But of course, if you want to have such quality in real-time mode in rasterizer, you will have to bake the Lightmap shadows. So now, here, we assign the geometries we want to have shadow compute onto. We will define the geometries which will be ignored by this computation, and the light which will not cast light and shadow inside your scene. Of course, you can still search, like for the assignment table, with query and match. You define your presets, so the one you use in global illumination modes. And when everything is well set, you just have to generate and check the results. So you see in real time, in rasterizer, we have this shadow applied, which is very, very close to what you can get in global illumination modes, but with high performances for review and to go for headset review, for immersive review. So you see the difference between real-time global illumination and the baked shadows in light maps. Very close. Then we have a lot of enhancements on the material and the look library side. So the first one is about the look library. We have more and more complex products with up to 1 or 200 materials sometimes, and it's really complex to search, to look for the correct one and to apply it to your scene. So here, the enhancement is on the way you will list and you will filter or sort them. So here, we have you can define some favorite metadata, fine, and you can filter and only show and expose your favorite metadata. You can drag and drop from one look library to another one. You see here now we can show what kind of material is assigned to your scene, which means before to delete a news material, if you want to keep one material but it is not assigned, you know that you will remove it. Of course, you can multi-edit them, or you can directly create some variants. And here you can now create collections. You can define a color, a visual color. You can define collection. Very easy. Multiple selection and assign them. And of course, you can custom and you can define up to one collection to one materials. So one material can stand for 2 or 3 collections. If a material is missing a textures, it's shown here now, and you can quickly reassign and clean and make a nice look library with no textures missing. And here you can multi-edit on the right. You see what is in gray is the settings you can multi-edit when you select 2 or more materials. Then you can continue to filter by type, favorite, assign materials, or material which is applied on the variance. And of course you can combine this filter. So if you have up to 100 materials, it's really easy to find the material you are looking for. So as I show, we have some enhancements on the look library, but we also have enhancements on the materials side. The first one is about the PBR Materials. It's a new type format of materials in stellar modes, and this material will allow you, thanks to the power by of DiNozzo system, to have PBR material inside Deltagen, and you will be able to import them inside the 3D Experience platform, and on the other way too. Which means you define your material on one of our solutions and you reuse it with no data prep or modification inside another solutions. So here you see we have on the material editor a brand new appearance. All the settings shown on the right is all the settings you have in all the type of material from Stellar: glass, fabrics, leather, car paint. But it's familiar for you. You see on the right all these settings, you know them. you still have the texture bank. You will assign materials. You will change its mapping. And you can also tone map these textures inside the material editor. So you have the base settings, the diffuse roughness of the surface, also flakes if you want to create some nice appearance like for car paint. We still have the coating and emission for emissive materials to emit some lights, and you have volume for your transparent material like glass and plastics transparent. So here, in this video, we are really showing the full range of materials you can create. So with one settings, one user interface, you can reproduce all the materials you have in your material banks inside your company. So here again, tweaking with the roughness. Let's add some textures, remove some. And of course, in real time, you can play with these settings and have a direct appearance of your materials. It's really efficient. So we move from leather to wood. We have defined some glasses, some car paints, and we can really achieve some complex appearance. Of course, it's easy for chrome and steel, but when it will come for concrete and solid materials, sometimes it could be not as easy as we want to create some. So here again, creating materials. Look library show you that it's assigned in the scene. It's showing you the stellar type material you've defined. So you can again filter by 3D Experience PBR Materials to start from one materials, copy and pass to another one as reference or as copy. So again, defining the appearance of it, loading textures, tweaking the size of the mapping. So you see, in few minutes you can really define a different appearance and a full new library of materials, covering a full range. It's not the only new material we support now in the R2019x version. We also now have a new partnership with X-Rite. We are really happy that now we can read AxF file format from them. So you can scan physical samples with their device, and now with the AxF file you will get from your device or from scanned services from X-Rite company, you can now simply open and read AxF file inside Deltagen. So open them, it will be exposed inside your Look library, and you will just have now to drag and drop and assign to your scene's geometries. And the appearance is automatically shown. You don't have anymore to go in the material editor and to define, tweak, create any appearance. So again here, applying car paint materials or SVBRDF materials. Just drag and drop and you see it will be automatically rendered. No more effort to prepare materials. So the base, diffuse, specularity, roughness, reflection, everything is stored and saved inside this AxF file format. Just apply and start review and state. Here you see how the light is reacting on the surface, simulating the roughness, coatings, flakes if it has, complex patterns, everything is here. The only thing you can do is to play with the UV mapping, position, size, and translation. And of course in real time you can really define this mapping. So this was for the material and Look library side. Now let's move to your design and engineering use case. You know, now we support the physical light units inside Deltagen. So if you want to lit your product, to review how it will appear, to do some perceived quality, some reviews and presentation, now you can lit your product. We now support Lumens, Candela, NIT and Lux physical light units inside Deltagen. So you see from your product, just start to lit them and start to review how it's appearing. So you can create lit and unlit condition of your product. You can define the real behavior of your product thanks to animation, logic network editor, and complex scenarios. All the states of your product you can reproduce and review. Of course, you can review in day and night condition. And you can get realistic appearance. It's really advanced visualization of your lights. And as always, with Deltagen, you can produce high quality content like image, videos, turntable, or some reviews. Since the R2018 version of Deltagen, we can read IS light profile, so you can keep studying lit configuration of your product. This is how it looks like. Of course, you can do some review inside your car or a cabin. So you can define all the light configuration like roof lamp, map lamp, footwell lamp, and all the mood lighting you want to create or explore inside your product. And also the light distribution, which intensity, where it will be lit, or where you will have reflection, which can disturb the user. So it's a really advanced use case, and please you can continue to open to new use case the way you use Deltagen. Next use case, of course, is for VR, for headset review. So we support since last year, since the R2018x version, the HTC Vive plugin. But we've made some enhancements on the way to use this plugin, especially on the user interface. We made it more easy and more simple to use. Let's have a look. So in this video, we are showing you the new user interface. It's really more easy and flexible. You have some basic configuration defined in this new user interface, which will allow everybody to use it very simply. So we have some defined button configuration. Now it's exposed inside the HTC Vive plugin, not anymore in the immersive plugin. If you want to set your HMD, your HTC Vive or Vive Pro, we now support the Vive Pro, you can set the resolution directly in SteamVR now. And so when everything is well defined, you just have to enable VR mode. For the basic interaction and configuration, now it's available in the HTC Vive plugin. So to walk, drag, fly, it's now available here. And you can have some animation and variant triggering directly in this HTC Vive plugin. If you want to define more complex and advanced configuration, like 3D menu custom or seat buck alignment, it will stay for this immersive module. And the last enhancement I want to present you is on the bridge between ISAM to Deltagen. So more and more people, modelers or design studio wants to have a fast and realistic review and visualization of the new design. So now we have this ISAM direct interface, which will allow you to push data from ISAM to Deltagen with no effort and no need to have advanced skills on rendering and visualization. So here we have our product. Modeler have hand the design. The variant and is made and configured inside the Reference Manager. If you are okay with your variants, you just have to save your RMS file. And we have the 3D X-Rite Deltagen connection here, the direct interface. You can select if you want to push a RMS session or a listed DB. And by just pushing, it will open automatically Deltagen, create a new scene, and the data will be converted. And now the data is pushed inside Deltagen. With linked file, you recover your variants. Everything is here. Configuration, geometries, and material applied. Then you just have to add a realistic surrounding. It's a simple step. And then, when it's ready, you can start to do a review in real time or in global illumination modes. So it really brings the capabilities of visualization and renderings to people which are not advanced or skilled in visualization tools. That was for all the enhancements we have now. We are proud to show and on the R2019x version, and I hope you will test them and make great scene and enjoy our new solutions and enhancements.
Well, it sounds so easy to get these beautiful pictures. Then I think we have some questions from users for you, Hugo. So the first question is, can I use Denoiser in real-time mode?
So the Denoiser from NVIDIA can only be applied in global illumination mode in the Stellar renderer. But as I've shown, these features can be used in global illumination, in Deltagen standalone, in distributed Stellar, and also you can use the Denoiser to bake Lightmap shadows, because you are using your global illumination render engine.
Okay. And AxF file, can be edited in Deltagen?
No. The only thing you can do is to read the AxF file inside your Deltagen as a look library, and in the material editor of the AxF file, you cannot change its appearance. You can only change its mapping, position, size, rotation. It will secure the appearance of your materials, which means nobody will be able to tweak it, deform its appearance, and save it in a wrong way, in a wrong appearance.
I see. Okay, so it's safer. Is it simple to do light visualization in Deltagen?
Well, it needs some skills, some practices. Of course, we can give you advice. It will be a mix of complex data preparation, complex settings in the render setting sites, on the physical light units you will use, but everything combined, you will create this stunning rendering. And of course, you can ask us questions, we can give you advice, best practice, and trainings.
Good. And does the HTC Vive need some model preparation before?
Well, it depends on the complexity and the size of your products. If everything is well prepared on the data preparation side, you don't need. If you feel your experience is not at the level you need, you maybe will need some data preparation on the polygon counts, maybe to do some Lightmap baking, or to create some animation configuration and to trigger your scene, to create interaction. In that case, it needs a bit of preparation, but everything is integrated in the core features of Deltagen.
Fine. And is it easy to set an assignment table?
Well, it's easy if you understand the way you have to search metadata or group name or look name. In the video, you can see what kind of text we are typing to search inside your scene the correct data, correct geometries or correct material. If you understand how the query is working, in that case, it will be very easy, and as you saw, you can save, you can copy paste, and quickly create new assignment table and reuse it inside Delta Batch. But of course, we can give you advice.
Great. Well, thank you, Hugo. Thank you very much to all of you for attending, and talk to you next time for me.
Thanks for joining the journey, and we will be happy to support and reply later any question you have. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.